Hey there, drone fans. Today I'd like to do a quick overview of the DJI Flip Charging Hub. This is an optional accessory for the brand new drone that you'll probably want if you have multiple batteries or if you're looking for a quicker way to charge your batteries than actually charging them using the drone. And I'll get into all the technical reasons in a minute, but let's start off with why you'd want a charging hub. Well, I can promise you when you start flying the Flip, you're going to put it up in the air, and even though it can fly for 31 minutes on a fully charged battery, that's not going to be long enough. You're going to be out on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, flying over the lake, and all of a sudden you're going to realize your battery's down to 20%, and you're going to bring it back and land it. What's going to happen next? You're going to race home and start looking for a second battery, maybe even a third or a fourth battery. And that works great. Now you've got 4 batteries. You can keep it up in the air longer. But how do you charge those batteries? Well, you have a couple of options. You can certainly charge them using the drone. You'll just pop them in the drone, connect it up to a wall charger, and charge them in the drone. But for me, there are 3 things that worry me about charging through the drone. Number 1, DJI limits the amount of current that'll pass through the drone to charge that battery, which means it's going to take longer. The second reason is I don't want to use my expensive drone essentially as a battery charger. I'd rather charge those batteries outside the drone so I don't take any chances in case a battery goes nonlinear. And the third reason is that it's labor intensive because you've got to charge a battery, come back and check on it. Is it fully charged? It is. Okay, rotate the next one in, rotate the next one in. It could take a really long time. So a hub solves all those problems and then some, because the hub itself can handle 4 batteries at the same time. It's also an intelligent charging hub, which means there are brains in the bottom of this that are going to do some pretty cool things. For starters, when you pop your batteries into the hub and you connect it to a wall charger, the controller in the base talks to those batteries, each of them, interrogates them, and finds out which of the batteries you've inserted needs the least amount of charge. And that's important because the charger will determine which battery it's going to charge first and maybe even charge 2 of them at the same time. It's also checking the battery health. It's making sure that when it's charging the batteries, it's laying that charge across the cells inside evenly, and it's really taking care of your batteries to make sure it's putting the right amount of current and voltage at those batteries, and it's not going to damage them. So the hub does an awful lot of really cool things. The big difference, though, is what you're using to charge with. So, for example, if you're plugging it into a standard wall charger, that really determines how quickly and how many batteries that will charge at the same time. So if you're under 65 watts and you're not using a PD charger, it'll charge 1 battery at a time. It'll find the battery that needs the least amount of charge, it'll charge that one, it'll move on to the next one that needs the least amount of charge, charge that one, move on to the next one. So it'll charge all the batteries, but it could take a while because it's doing it in series. But if you're using a charger that's over 65 watts and it's a PD charger, it'll actually charge 2 batteries at the same time. So it'll find the one that needs the least amount of charge and the one that needs the least amount of charge less than that. So the one that's got a little more charge in it, it'll have the one that needs the least amount of charge charged till it equals that other one. Then it'll charge both till they're fully charged. And then it looks for the next least amount of charge. So it walks through the batteries essentially 2 at a time to bring them up to the top level. And that's a lot faster than charging 1 at a time sequentially. So the key is the charger is important. Now you'll need either a wall charger like this one that'll deliver 65 watts with PD charging. That's another important difference. A lot of chargers may deliver 65 watts, but they're not power delivery chargers. And the reason that's important is because the controller in the hub talks to that charger over that PD handshake, and it tells the charger what voltage and current it needs to charge the battery. So if it's only charging 1, it may be 5 volts or 12 volts, but if it's charging 2 at the same time, it may ask for a higher voltage and even a higher current so that it can charge 2 batteries. So it's critical that whatever charger you're using in the wall is a PD 65 or greater wall charger. You can also find car chargers that'll do that. This happens to be a 95 watt car charger and it's PD compatible. So with this one, I plug this in my car, I drive to a location and I've got a couple of batteries charged. So that's the first thing. Another important difference is that this hub actually allows you to charge external devices from the USB-C port on the side. So when you're charging the batteries, you're plugging this in, USB-C here, to a wall charger. I typically use USB-C to USB-C, but you can use USB-C to USB-A, but then you're not going to get the advantages of PD because that really needs a USB-C connection. So use the charging cable between here and a wall charger and you can charge it. But if you've got batteries that have a little bit of residual charge in, for example, if you've been flying with this one for 20 minutes or so and you've got 15 or 20% left of the power, put it back in the hub, hold this button down for a couple of seconds, it'll actually turn on, and you can connect an external device to the USB-C port and charge that device. So maybe your controller or your phone or your camera, something that you want to charge while you're out there flying your drone, can be charging on the mat while you're flying. So that's pretty cool. Another unique feature that this one has, which is something that they introduced in the last generation, I think the Neo had it, is what they call power accumulation. And that's a really cool feature because even without a charger, when you're out in the field, if you've got two batteries that still have a little bit of charge in them, and you've got one that only needs a little bit of charge, you can put those two batteries in here, hold this button in for a couple of seconds, and basically like a vampire, it'll drain the electrons out of these two batteries into that third battery to charge it. So what you're doing essentially is sharing whatever current and voltage is in those two batteries with the third one. Then you can pop this out and you'll have an almost fully charged battery depending on how much current was left, and you can fly with this. So it gives you a chance to sort of even out the charge across your batteries. Now, it protects the batteries, of course, so when it's doing that vampire move, it's not actually draining these all the way down to zero. I think it stops at around 10%, so you're not going to damage your batteries. But for me, this charging hub, even though it seems like a really simple device, it's complicated and it's smart and it's advanced technology that may be lost on you if you haven't spent the time to read the manual, which a lot of people don't. I want you to know that the charging hub is well worth the investment if you have a second battery or a third battery, because I worry again about charging it in the drone. It takes a long time, a little bit of danger there because you're using lithium ion batteries. And then third, I don't want to deal with swapping batteries in and out because I'm going to miss them. It'll sit there for a while and I'm just wasting time. So the hub allows me to pop the batteries in here, connect it to a wall or a car charger, and know they're being charged safely and quickly, and it just gets the job done. So, also, it's a great way to transport your batteries, right? Because you're not bouncing these around in the back of your car, getting fuzz up in the connection. So everything about this just makes a whole lot of sense, and it's not that expensive an accessory. So if you're adding a second battery, I would add the hub as well, and that way you've got a great place to charge them. You can carry them around in the hub, and it's just going to make things a lot easier for you. And that's all I really had for today. Now, if you're interested, we obviously make chargers like these. The two I showed you are two of the chargers we produce. 65-watt wall charger, 3-port PD, 3-port 95-watt car charger PD, and I've got links for those below if you're interested. And that's all I really had for today. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you found value in this review. And until next time, happy flying.